Well, we have always said that we would love to settle, but it requires one very, very, very important thing, and that is that on a go-forward basis, it's clear that XRP is not a security. The SEC and Gary Gensler has very outwardly said he views almost all crypto as a security, and so that leaves very little space in a Venn diagram for settlement. The case is now fully briefed in front of the judge, and judges take however long the judges will take. We're optimistic that this will certainly be resolved in 2023 and maybe the first half. So we'll see how it plays out from here. But I feel very good about where we are relative to the law and the facts.
So are you going to wait for the judge to come out with a decision on this one?
I'm very optimistic, and I think absent some significant change in posture from the SEC, I can't imagine that we won't have resolution from the judge. I also will point out, and I've certainly something I've heard here in Davos repeatedly, is how important this is, not just to how Ripple it goes forward, but also really the whole crypto industry in the United States. And I keep reminding people that outside the United States, crypto is still thriving, Ripple is still thriving, and we should make sure we're continuing to engage non-U.S. regulators. Indicative of, to some degree, a crypto winter that, as you just suggested, has changed in tone from how the last Davos, in terms of just, there was a lot of hype, a lot of noise around all things crypto at the last Davos, and I think seeing the change, and I actually think it's a really healthy change, that there's more focus on utility. Are these technologies that are solving real problems? And I think to your question, I think to the extent there are companies solving real problems for real customers, and they're going to continue to grow regardless of the environment. Is there continued contagion? I think we're obviously continuing to hear noise about what's going on with DCG and Gemini. Hard to know. It sounds like that could work out in a constructive way. I think all of this has not been great for crypto at large. But again, if you just focus on companies that are solving real problems, certainly Ripple had a record 2022. We'd rather see crypto do well at large, but we had a great year, signed up more and more customers and more volume going through our payment rails. Well, I've tried to stay out of the short-term price prediction on all things Bitcoin, or crypto in general. I'm long-term very bullish because I think these are technologies that can solve real problems at scale, and I think when you have kind of new emerging technologies, not dissimilar than, frankly, the internet and kind of the dot-com bubble. Sometimes the hype gets ahead of the reality. That comes into balance over time. But we shouldn't forget, really not that long ago, 21 years, Amazon during the dot-com bubble almost went out of business. So the fact that you're seeing some changes in the crypto world, I think, can be healthy for the long-term health of the talk about this as a crypto problem, but really this is just fraud. And I think in some ways not that dissimilar than Bernie Madoff. And when Bernie Madoff occurred, we didn't totally restructure how we thought about oversight and regulation of hedge funds. We realized that, hey, clearly in that case also the SEC had overlooked, and if people had reported to the SEC, they should be looking into Bernie Madoff. So I know that the SEC had met a bunch of times with SBF. I don't know the specifics of what types of oversight they were applying. I do think this is a fraud. I don't view this as a crypto problem at large. But to your point, I think regulatory clarity globally is important. And we're seeing a lot of countries. I mean, here we are in Davos, and Switzerland's clearly one of the countries leading in providing regulatory clarity in early stage. You have the UAE leaning in, the UK, Japan, Singapore. The U.S. is notably absent from that list. And I think in some ways the regulators in the U.S. have added confusion to the crypto marketplace.
And let's talk about those regulators.
On how we're defining institutional involvement. When I think about institutional involvement with Ripple, I'm thinking about financial institutions, banks, payment providers who are using our technologies to solve a cross-border payments problem. They've continued to engage, we've continued to grow, and so I feel good about that. But look, I think anytime you have this kind of change, people take a moment. I also think, and I pointed out in one of the sessions I was in at Davos here yesterday, is, we talk about, obviously, crypto is down 65%. Tesla is down 65%. Facebook is down about 65%. No one's saying, hey, we shouldn't invest in Tesla or Facebook. So I think we have to, clearly, I would much rather not have the volatility we've seen in crypto in 2022. But I think we also have to look at that in concert of other kind of growth investment areas. And again, to your point, most of crypto has been speculation. If it's just speculation, I don't think that's long-term sustainable. We need to focus on utility and make sure we're solving problems for customers.
We're going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy. And it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And guys, please like and subscribe if you do like what you're listening to. Inform your friends and family and spread all over social media. It is imperative that we get back to learning finances and understand how the world really works, because once we understand how the world really works, we understand that it is all planned out. Now, I want to thank those who purchased the books Crypto Teacher and the new Road Order book. The new Road Order book is going to show you how the world really works. And it's definitely time for you to wake up out of that sleep, especially in the times that we're in right now. I told you at the beginning of the year, in the first quarter of 2022, we was going to have an event that was going to bring us down. And then also in the fourth quarter, we would have an event that would bring us down. That's exactly what happened. And now I'm going to tell you, in the first quarter, we're going to have an event that's going to bring us down in 2023. And then also in the fourth quarter of 2023, we're going to have another main event. Now, of course, guys, the markets are still going to be pumping and dumping until they get ready to pull the full rug. But I'll let you know when that's about to happen. Now, also, I want to thank those who purchased the 3 Kids books. It's time to get re-educated. And also, much love to those who've donated to the Cash App and Patreon. And in my Patreon, I keep you up to date with the new Road Order events. Also, I give you the new Road Order cryptos in the Patreon. Of course, you have to do your own research. But this next bull run is going to be a utility run. So you want to make sure that you have the cryptos that have utility. And much love to those who are shopping at both stores. Keep it coming. And of course, guys, we get into Bitcoin and cryptos first.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And right now, we have Bitcoin and cryptos pulling back. And I advise you on Wednesday, guys, we will start a pullback, but then we're going to get that dump on Friday. I'm not your financial advisor, not financial advice. Please do your own research. And the worst thing you can do after a great pump is be greedy. And you deserve to lose it all when you're greedy. But we have Bitcoin and cryptos close to getting back around the numbers before the FTX collapse. But remember, guys, they're not finished. And I'm going to go over that a little later. But since the lows, not only do we have Bitcoin and cryptos up, if you look at the stock market, we have Coinbase up over 60%. MicroStrategy up over 70%, which should be called Morgan Stanley. But guys, if you're looking at the indicators, we saw where the pump and dump came from when you look at the actual indicators. We had yield rates move lower, as you can see, and then they started rising. The dollar moved down to its lowest in almost a year, and then it moved back up. So guys, we saw the pump and dump. So make sure you're paying attention to the actual indicators and then also the geopolitical events. But we also have volume, tether, USDC, and then of course, guys, we have the Fed. Repo still over $2 trillion. And in 2 weeks, we know the central banks are going to be raising rates and running off the balance sheet, which we know is going to hit cryptos and stocks. And remember, they have to destroy this legacy market in order for the 4th industrial revolution to rise. The robots, algorithms, and drones paying each other with Bitcoin and crypto. And guys, we know they only need one more crisis. And we see the debt ceiling is going to lead us into that crisis. Tomorrow, the United States runs out of money. Out of nowhere, I know. But that's exactly what Janet Yellen came out and stated. And because of higher interest rates, I did a video on it a few days ago. The Fed is no longer doing remittances to the Treasury. So guys, we know the NWO caused the problem, wait for the reaction, and run in with the solution. And we know automation has been ready for over 10 years. That's the reason why I've done the short videos. I have more to come, showing you how the robots, algorithms, and drones are going to take over the economy. Now we have the Ukraine Deputy Prime Minister says he'll take his salary in CBDCs. And we know that Stellar USDC has been working with the Ukrainian government. And we know what the C word and this war, guys, is all a test for something much bigger. And we know on television they've been programming the cyber threats. And we know it's coming. How they're going to do it, we don't know. But we know that cyber threat is definitely right around the corner. Make sure you go watch my video last night. And we had Fox News, Tucker Carlson, programming the minds of the people. We know why Bitcoin pumped, because we had the Hong Kong ETF futures. We can look at the numbers and easily see that if we go to CME. But as long as the media is controlled by a few hands, they can program the minds. And they're doing that programming. And guys, we know it's been done for years. And 90% of movies, Russia is always the enemy. Guys, that is programming. And now that the Republicans have taken over the House, guys, we know they're going to put their foot on the Hegelian dialectic in order to move the masses over to the digital transformation. And we see the agendas at Davos. Now, guys, we had Grayscale sitting at about 19 billion. And we have Digital Currency Group, halts dividends in an effort to preserve liquidity. Now, getting over into a little crypto news. We have Coinbase halts operations in Japan. And they state due to trading volume, but guys, we know there's more to it. The BOJ met and they didn't make any changes. We know that's not going to happen in the next meeting. So we have to keep our eyes on the BOJ in March. Now we have Solana Foundation, Ripple, GBBC, and others form partnership to promote crypto solutions for climate change. And guys, we know in Davos, they're definitely pushing the agenda. And we know the bigger agenda behind climate change. They want to control the masses movements. Now we have Dogecoin carbon emissions down by 25%. Also, we have Frex Finance liquidity staking derivatives heats up ahead of Ethereum's upgrade Shanghai. And guys, you know, when I first started, I did a video on Frex Finance. Make sure you go check it out. Now we have Polkadot enhances cross-chain abilities between its blockchains. And we know how important interoperability is. And 21 Shares debuts crypto staking ETP on BX Swiss Exchange. And guys, we see the legacy products again moving over to tokenization. Now we have Binance approved in Poland. And after the FTX collapse, they went after CZ Binance, and he was famous for about 2 weeks, showing up on all the TV shows. And guess what? He's back to building. And we know it's all part of the plan for the emerging markets. And then lastly, guys, we have Brad Garlinghouse on Crypto Winner. And he says it's good for the space. And we already know Brad knows that 99% of these cryptos are going to be gone. And he talks about U.S. regulation. United States is behind, but guys, we know that is on purpose. Because we know they want the emerging markets to lead this fourth industrial revolution so they can destroy America to Babylon along with the United States world reserve currency, so the digital yuan can rise backed by that digital SDR, which will put the central banks in charge of the globe. And we know blockchain gives the NWO the all-seeing eye. And then we have Brad Garlinghouse speaking about the SEC case. He expects it to end soon. And guys, we know Jay Clayton started, which is an NWO chess piece, and replaced him with Gary Gensler, which is another chess piece along with Janet Yellen. And Gary Gensler's job was to kick the regulation can down the road. So therefore they could keep the crypto casino open. And we know that they're ready to bring in regulation now. And that's the reason why the SEC case against Ripple is going to end. And we pretty much know how it's going to end. Either they're going to get a fine or they're no longer going to be in the U.S. But this Ripple and SEC case was nothing but a movie. Remember, your life is an illusion, and TV is your reality. And remember, the crypto teacher told you, because he knows, when it comes to the New World Order, it's all planned out. But that's all I have for you. Don't forget about the books, Crypto Teacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance, do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. Let's stock channel, guys. Make sure you go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chips out, your banking, your gaming, while everybody's sitting at home, get on stocks and see where the biotech stocks, and while everybody's at home wishing they were still getting that free money, what they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.